I can see the stars align, dance around the moon every night. And now my eyes are open wide, and the sky has never looked so bright. And I don't need to see the road to believe, yeah. 'Cause this is where I'm meant to be, I believe. And I feel the magic everywhere. It's all around us, it's in the air. And I see the magic we can share. So much wonder everywhere. And I feel the magic, can you imagine? And I feel the magic, can you imagine? And I feel the magic, it's all around us. And I feel the magic, it's all around us. There's wonder on this winding road in front of me, yeah. 'Cause I'm right where I'm supposed to be. And I feel the magic everywhere. It's all around us, it's in the air. And I see the magic we can share. So much wonder everywhere. And I feel the magic, can you imagine? And I feel the magic, can you imagine? And I feel the magic, it's all around us. And I feel.
Well, that just cuts off really quick, doesn't it? I feel the magic. It's all around us. And good evening to you wherever you are in the world. I'm Gwenda. I'm your host of Soul and Beyond. We never know quite where beyond we might go. When I set up for these wonderful shows with you, Spirit often have other ideas, which is what happens most of the time. Wherever I show up and plan on doing something, sharing something, we never know. So good evening, Jackie. You're in nice and early this evening. Hi, Karen Mack. Tanya Atkins, you're also early this evening. Twinkle, hello. Wonderful to be here. It's wonderful to have you here. And hi, Lisa Murray. You're also quick off the mark today. So nice to see you all, ladies, and everyone else watching, and those who will watch the replay. Thank you. Please know that you can still put comments on. You can still share your thoughts. And whatever comes through this evening, I know is going to answer things for you. It's going to bring clarity and in a lot of ways bring a beautiful sense of, things aren't that bad after all. I saw someone shared a post today about a particular doll that has come out for Christmas. And rightfully so, there is a lot of kick up about this particular doll. So when there's something that really is not of God's light, is not of help to humanity, if we're going to kick up, then we need to do it from a place of divine grace. And we need to have our say in a way that brings and broadcasts that divine light. It is very easy for us, so here we go. It is very easy for us to succumb to the negative comments, to succumb to the anger and get up in arms like, this is no good, it's not what we wanted. The thing is that when we do that without really sitting in a place of consciousness, we lose that connection. Only in that time space that we sit in it. However, if you imagine we did that by tens of thousands, that actually impacts on the collective consciousness, the tapestry of consciousness of humanity. And that's where we see decline, and we see things going very pear-shaped for the world and for humanity. So if you come across a doll, an article, anything that really rocks you and you think this isn't right, then please do have your say. Have your say in writing to the appropriate people. Don't go around and join groups and get yourself caught up in that energy. So Jackie knows that we've just come back from the Serenity Retreat. And why would you want to come back feeling so good, so peaceful, bliss, amazing, having experienced transformations? And from one of the ladies that sent me the most beautiful text yesterday, that already her body has shown significant change as a result of those few days. So you come back from something like that and then step into the mud, the slush puddle. You know, that just defeats the purpose and it sets you backwards such a long way. So it's really important that if we're going to have our say on something, have our say, make it count. Be an influencer, not a table whinger. Be an influencer, but do it in the way that is going to make a difference. And don't ever think that your voice, your opinion, your letter, your email won't make a difference, because you need to know that what you write, what you say, what you think about does not go into a little box. It goes beyond anything that you can comprehend in this physical world, and it is answered. So really do think about how you respond to things that pop up, that people show you, that are capturing your attention. And if it distracts you away from being in a place of peace, of harmony, of clarity, then walk away. Walk away. If you're not going to have your say, don't sit around the table and whinge. Don't be a table whinger. Pick up, move on. Right? Yes, Jackie, distractions. Good evening, Linda Gold. The Serenity Retreat. Yes, very serene, wasn't it? So last night I was watching a documentary on the way that what we call king waves, like massive waves, the impact they have on big ships, like your cargo ships out on the ocean. And oh my gosh, just watching the waves come up, the storms come up, and the way that they grow. Like one was over over 90 feet. Don't ask me what that is in inches, in centimeters, but it was huge. And then they actually showed footage of a wave that was able to break one of those big rigs out on the ocean, and I've often wondered about them. So my thoughts around that as I was watching it was, does anybody stop and think, what would be causing the ocean floor to be moving in such a way that it brings these tremendous waves? And then the documentary went on to talk about tsunamis. And that was really fascinating. And lo and behold, the scientists, well, there's my favorite word, actually have gone along, and they have this special instrument that can go down into the earth in the ocean, and it comes out, it brings the ocean floor with it, And they're able to see the size of a tsunami through the change in the mud, the ground floor. And one of them was from the 1700s, and the width of the dirt was huge. So they were showing the difference between the change in the ocean floor structure to that tsunami to one in 1994 in Japan. And they were actually showing how the plates move. They also were able to show that some of the mountains, key mountains on the island of Vancouver Island in Canada, where I went to speak at a beautiful event a few years ago, how they're actually moving, and they are moving forward. So this brings me to the point of people believing that the world is fixed and that everything we see in the material world is solid and fixed. Nothing here is fixed. It all moves. Everything moves. And when you saw the way that these scientists were able to show the way that the earth was moving, and they've actually been able to say every 14 months. Now, my question to my beautiful man was, what would be going on in that space of time for there to be such a specific timeline of 14 months? And they've been able to track it over quite a period of time. And what I'm going to put to you is the amount of disruption that is caused through the ocean gas rigs, mining, nuclear blasts on the ocean floor. They contribute to creating problems in the plates of the earth. And why is this relevant? Where does that come into Soul and Beyond? Well, you are part of the earth. If you've ever looked at seismic graphs and things, if you've ever talked about the moon affecting you, the tides affecting you, if you've ever done planting by the moon, if you've ever talked to water, if you've ever held a drink and put energy into the drink, it's not magic. It's the fact that you are all part of the whole thing. So everything we do around us and everything we do in the ocean floor and in the ocean affects us eventually. Maybe not immediately, but eventually. When I was over, it was huge, Tanya, huge. When I was in Vancouver Island to speak at the Fearless event, which I might say the founder of that One Woman Fearless since 2021 has been diagnosed with breast cancer, like many people, which is very sad for that lovely lady. And I wish her well. So when I was on the island, I did a post-talk workshop, and some of the people there wanted me to channel any messages about what could be coming for their island. And I said, what do you mean, what could be coming? And they said, well, do you see anything like an earthquake coming here? Because we think we're pretty protected. So I channeled in for them, and the message was amazing. That yes, there was going to be a massive earthquake come through to Vancouver Island, but it was going to come from far, far away. It wasn't going to come from any of the obvious volcanoes in countries nearby. And they were all like, well, how could that be? And at the time, the information given showed that where this earthquake was going to come from was the other side of the world, outside of the world. And they're like, but nothing could be that big to make it that far. And I'm like, well, I'm just the messenger. Don't shoot the messenger. Well, guess what? In last night's documentary, like I said, they were actually on Vancouver Island and have found that the mountains there have been shifting. They also have found that Vancouver Island has got a considerable size volcanic plate under it. And when they drew where that would track back to, guess what? Comes all the way back around. There was Australia. And I smiled and said to Gary, oh, well, once again, God wins. The messengers of God win. The humans always want to, argue the point. No, that can't happen. No, that can't be right. And there it is. So I did have a big smile about that and sharing with you about these shifts in the ocean and how much they are going to shift our lives. Can we do anything about it? We can do lots of things about the way energy works in this earth. And it's not anything that you could say, oh, I'm only one person, so I won't make any difference. That's a cop-out. And that's the coward's way. One person plus one person, one person, it adds up. And that's where we get a mass shift in consciousness. Now, another thing that I was watching, which I can't wait to share with you, was a science fiction movie. Now, does anybody know what science fiction really is? Have any of you delved into knowing why they use the word science fiction? And if you've had a look at some of the things that are labelled science fiction? Well, I don't know where this movie came from, or do I? This movie, now what was it called? So I can't even remember the name of it. But this movie was about these computer geeks, technology geeks, that were looking for unusual signals from, the space discs and satellite dishes and satellites. And they kept insisting that there was an unusual reaction coming back from a place out in space where there were no satellites. And they kept getting this beam that was coming in. So that's the foundation of the movie. And then one of the young blokes is going through some depression and unhappiness. So his psych suggests that he do daily video journaling. So rather than writing, that he do some little videos of himself so that he can see change, and also because the impact of actually seeing yourself has a whole different effect than writing on a page of paper. So he's doing these things. He doesn't really want to. This particular day, he decides he's going to go and hike in the mountains. So he's up there in the mountains and he's doing his little video, and this noise catches his attention. When he looks, there is this silver disc hurtling through the atmosphere on fire, hurtling like mad, and it appears to smash into the side of a mountain not far from where he is. A lot of people in the town nearby, Alaska, they saw this thing hurtling through the sky, and of course, people being the way they are, they're like, oh, what is that? Oh, I wonder what that was. Oh, it's crashed. But this kid grabs his camera and all his video gear and starts to make his way towards where he thinks it's crashed. In the meantime, within a very short time, there's sirens galore and there's all sorts, and he thinks it's fire engines, but it's not. It's these very unusual looking uniformed humans, and they have some strange equipment with them. And no, it's not Ghostbusters, far from it. So he hides, and then eventually he's down in this forest area and he's trying to get to where he thinks this thing crashed. He stops because he can sense there's something behind him. And when he turns around, there is an incredible alien standing behind him, which of course freaks him out. The alien's not too bothered, but he is. And then all you see is him appearing to black out. And then he comes to, and he's got no idea where he's been. He's lost 3 days. Oh, well, he rolls up into work as if nothing's happened. And all his colleagues like, where have you been? Where have you been, man? You haven't been here for 3 days. And he said, no, I was here yesterday. No, you weren't. So it goes on through the movie. And then he and another girl who was also abducted, they both have the same marks on their arms. They both have the same difficulty in their wrists since this strangeness on their arms. Only the young man is able to make things disappear, and he's able to put his arm through a strangeness of energy and then slip himself through into it, and no one else can see him. And it goes on, the movie goes on, and then it ends up with him and the young girl and another one sitting with an older man who had claimed to be abducted in the 1970s, and he had to go into hiding. They found him, and he is actually making contact with these beings. So they end up sitting around a table having a conversation with these alien beings. And the man has been able to work out how to translate what these beings say in their own funny language in a way that comes through as human language, in English in this case. And the really awesome thing about this movie is the incredible, precise exactness of the alien beings. And they are commonly called greys. Someone out there at the moment that I spoke about recently talks about being part grey, a hybrid grey. And he's also talked about our government soon telling us that they have been working with his race, his other race, for quite some time, and how they are benevolent and they're kind and they want to help humanity. So the thing that struck me, that's right, Jackie, and they have been for a long time, particularly this species. The thing that struck me is the face to a T is exactly the same as the one that appeared on the window of a plane when I was flying from the east of Australia across home. And I'd been reading, put my book away and looked and went, oh! And here's this face on the window. I'm like, what on earth? And it was just sitting there flying with us. I drew it. I drew it madly in the back of my book so no one would believe me. And also, when they showed these aliens in full form in this science fiction movie, he's exactly the same as the one I captured in a photo in the bush when I did my Earth and Soul bush retreat a couple of years ago. So what is science fiction? It's truth. And the reason they call it science fiction is because it would be too much for the ordinary human to grasp, to accept, to consider that these things could be real. So it's called science fiction. So everyone can go, oh, it's just a story. How wrong they are. If you have a closer look at science fiction, you'll find there's less fiction and more reality in it. So that was really cool. Two great things in the one evening or one afternoon about the tsunamis, the way that the earth plates of the ocean are shifting and actually shifting mountains, and then a science fiction movie about aliens, greys in particular. Let's see what Twinkle's got to say. Everything's connected, always. Good doco. Some a bit twisted, yeah. They have to be, Twinkle. They have to be a bit twisted and a bit weird. But then again, that's usually the part that's actually real, actually truthful. Make you wonder a story too might just be true. Yes, it is. Yeah, and Jackie says science fiction is preparing us for reality and truth. We could say that, Jackie, but of course the majority of people see it simply as science fiction and don't for 1 minute consider, because they cannot get their head around the fact that this stuff could actually be real, you know. So the X-Men, you know, and you've got all the gifted kids in the X-Men and how they transform into what they are when they're under stress, really, and they're not in their human form. There is loads of elements of truth in the X-Men as well. They just over dramatize it and make it Hollywood for the sake of selling it. But the abilities that the kids have are real and would be very real in this world if it was permitted. But of course, it's not. So never say never, and never discount things that seem really out there, and especially if it is a science fiction book or movie, but rather open your mind, open your heart, and ask to be shown, ask to have it known what is real in this, or what is truth in this. And you'll be amazed at the answers that you get. So, has anyone got a question? Has anyone got a question about their, let's see, about their health at the moment? Or if you've got a burning question on the topics of tonight, pop it in the comments and let's see what Spirit has to say for you. Lisa, we were hoping that Queen Anastasia would make an appearance at the retreat, but she didn't. I could feel her energy, but she didn't rock up for us. What we did have was some rather amazing cloud formation when I took a photo of the ladies that wasn't there. I took the photo, I looked at the photo and I looked up and went, oh, what? Where's that? And I showed it to the ladies immediately and said, where's that? And it wasn't there, was it, Jackie? No cloud formation like what was in the photos. So we had a little bit of specialness going on, shall we say. Back of my neck, been giving me trouble for 2 weeks. Thank you, Lisa. 2 weeks. Lisa, your thyroid's not behaving itself overly well at the moment. It's quite it's a bit erratic, which means that you're not getting an even flow of thyroxine through the body, and that affects your neck, but it affects your mood, it affects your sleep, it affects a cloggy, thick mind. You're also carrying a lot of tension in the back of your neck, but not only in the back of your neck, it's going up to the base of the skull and then down the top of the shoulders here. It's very tight along here. And also in your throat chakra, Lisa, you need to spit it out. So there are some things that you would like to be able to say, and instead you've been pushing them to the back of your throat. You're not even swallowing them, actually, just sitting them in your throat. And there is like a fringe of anger around this. You might like to go for a walk on your own, go down the beach, and just say whatever comes through, and say whatever you feel like. Don't hold back, just let it flow. And you'll be amazed how you feel after that, and your neck will ease. You could do with a nice massage, a gentle massage. If you could find someone in your area that does essential oil massages, that would be very good for you. Otherwise, if you don't want to do that, use a herbal pillow on your neck. Sit that on top of a heat pack and let the herbs come through your neck via the heat pack, and you'll feel better. But you'll feel much better if you just go and get rid of what it is that you are holding, and your thyroid will also correct itself. Yeah, very strange clouds, weren't they, Jackie? Very strange clouds. No one else with a health question? Oh, I'm going to help myself. Karen Mack, your small intestine and your digestion needs a bit of help at the moment. Small intestine going into the large intestine or the colon, not really working as effectively as it could be. Your digestion is stifled, so you're really not digesting food thoroughly and not getting all the nutrients that you need from the food you eat. That's Karen Mack. That's what comes through for you. Is you writing to me, Karen? It's not really your direction's not about your health, Karen, but what they were just talking about will go hand in hand with low energy, because you're not getting the nutrients from the food that you eat. You're not digesting properly when you eat. So you really need to look at giving your digestive system a nice overhaul. You know, a really simple thing you can do every morning is just to have a cup, not a glass because it'll break, of hot water. So boil your kettle, pour when it's boiling. When it has boiled, put the water into a cup and then squeeze a really good amount, like a big quarter, not a slither, but a big size quarter of lemon. Squeeze all the juice in and then put the lemon rind, the whole lot in, even the seeds, leave them in. Let it just cool off enough that you can drink it. Don't drink it cold. Drink it while it's warm, and don't just drink it, sip it. Let it swill around in your mouth. This will help your liver. When your liver's happy, your digestion improves a lot. The other thing you can have that'll help a lot is to have at least 4 juices a week, but they need to be green juices and not ones that have got fruit other than apple in them. So if you're going to buy a juice, then it needs to be only kale, spinach, cucumber, green apple, no banana, no pineapple, no mango, none of that, right? That's just all extra sugar. So a nice smooth green juice. If you can't get that, then just stay with the lemon juice and really look at how much processed food you're eating, and that includes bread. Start to cut down on processed food and also red meat, and minimize, start to cut down even on the amount of food just while you are getting your gut sorted. You'll wake up feeling a lot better. Also with the intention to wake up feeling good. How you go to bed at night, and this is for everyone, how you go to bed at night, what you hold in your energy, what you hold in your mind will determine how you wake up in the morning. When I go to bed at night, I use a very simple phrase. I clear my mind of all that is not of my highest good, and I give thanks for all that has been in this day. Good night. Now, I was laughing about this. You're welcome, Karen. I was laughing about this yesterday with my man. It's so effective that my mind is so clear of junk. So something I'll think I'm going to do, and I'm like, what was that I was going to do? And it seems to have slipped my mind. My mind has become so proficient at just letting go of the stuff that is not of my highest good. And sometimes washing. Was I supposed to be hanging the washing out? So sometimes the mundane stuff even gets left behind. But truly, it helps you sleep. It will help your vitality. It gives you better clarity in mind. Now, if you are someone who insists on being in your mind and you say it, and then you go, did it work? Oh, yeah, and then I've got to do this, and tomorrow I've got to do that. Well, you're a problem, and you're in the way. So when you say the phrase and you simply let it be and you go to sleep, then all things can take place and your guides can help you. Too hard in the weeds. Oh, you're good. Oh, Tanya, I've got some weeds. If you want to do some weeding, come on over. But now after being on a low carb diet 30 days. A low carb diet. I just love these names they come up with for these things. So, Tanya, your fingers are not sore simply because of the weeding. It is because there isn't enough flexibility. You need to do more energy exercises and clearing out energy from your hands. So making sure that you are not sleeping with your hands closed, making sure that you really extend on all the little tendons and everything that are in the fingers and in the hands, tipping back gently so you get a nice stretch, tipping forward as far as you can. Some people are very clever, put their fingers down there, and doing wrist exercises. So when you're sitting at night, make as if you're going to play the piano and do lots of little simple movements. And this is good for everyone. It helps the synovial fluid go through the joints of the fingers. It helps minimize inflammation. And the interesting thing, Tanya, is even though you've been on a low carb diet, you are carrying still a lot of old inflammation in the joints throughout your body. You have inflammation in the rib cage, you have inflammation in the hip joints and that pelvic basin, so the very base of the spine. You've got inflammation going on throughout the body. So the low carb diet is not going to fix that. You would do well with the hot water and lemon as well. You would also do well with looking at taking things like acidic foods, taking them out of your daily habits or your food habits. Acidic foods for everyone's information: eggs, mangoes, bacon, processed foods, red meat, salmon, oily fish, cheese, dairy. They're all acidic foods. They actually, when the body is carrying too much inflammation, those foods become more acidic. Tomatoes, tomato sauces and things like that. So So taking those things out, and any made dressings like shop-made dressings, shop-made sauces, removing those, and you'll see in only a few days, you will see a big difference. Now, the other side of things is, where is that emotionally connected? Where is that inflammation coming from? So I'm inflamed. So what is it that you're holding on to that has brought you to be in a place of being inflamed? And that comes to your own self. You did some work a few years ago on releasing sort of being annoyed, angry with someone else for what you believe they brought into your life, what they caused. But now it is stuff that's been sitting for a while, and there's also a lot of what you are angry about with yourself or inflamed about with yourself. So you need to do some really strong introspection for yourself. Yes, Lisa, definitely. And the gut health program would be a big help to Karen Mack's small intestine, colon. Thanks, Lisa. Yep. Good thinking, Lisa. So yes, Tanya, with a low carb diet, can you just share with me what was in that? Why was it called low carb? Whole foods with lots of... Oh dear. Whoopsie. Maybe take them out for a little while. And when you say whole foods, what does whole foods mean to you? What kind of whole foods? It's all really interesting, this stuff, because there's so much conflicting information. Something to share with you all. Tomorrow morning, I will be guest on Elevate and Evolve, straight out of the USA. Or I won't be in the USA, I'll be here, but the show is straight out of the USA. It is on at 8 a.m. Perth time, so that's 11 a.m. for those of you in the East, with a beautiful lady, Erica Bishop, and we will be talking about unlocking holistic wellness. And of course, as you know, holistic wellness is a favourite subject of mine. I'm delighted to have been invited to be a guest on her show. She would also like me to do some intensive workshops with her. So watch this space. That should be fun. Intensive something she calls them, but yeah, like a workshop. And also the book that I was co-author in, I am co-author in, that was made #1 bestseller, international bestseller. We have a free summit on at the moment. You can find the link for that in your emails if you are on my email list. I've also put some posts up about it on Facebook and on LinkedIn. So you can join that for free, and you get to hear all the authors. You can even get to hear us read our chapter. You can bounce around through it. It's absolutely phenomenal. So one of the ladies at the retreat was saying that she had already bought the book and was absolutely loving it. It's amazing. So there's a few things going on at the moment. Thank you very much, Jackie. A few things going on at the moment that are really exciting and are there to help you navigate through your life, help you with your health and your spiritual connection. You know, it's what I'm here to serve you with. So, but what is whole foods? What are the whole foods that you've been eating, Tanya? Yeah, it's right, Lisa. It's happening everywhere. I could get one of my girls to put the gut health program together as an ebook. Lisa did it in person, like on Zoom with me, which is totally different. But the ebook would would get you going, and you would have all the recipes, the directions for each week in that. So that wouldn't be as expensive as doing the program, especially the program to have without me guiding you with the videos there for you to listen to and be guided. I think that was out at $197. To have me guide you, that's a whole lot. That's a whole lot other price. No bread, grains, dairy, etc. But organic meat, red meat, Tanya, fish, eggs. I don't eat red meat. I've been getting protein from fish and eggs. Okay. Any disclosure sounds wonderful. Yeah, thanks, Lisa. Yeah, Lisa lost 20 kilos on the program and also sorted out quite a serious health issue that she was experiencing. She can share with you if she wants to on that. Don't think no processed food, no sugar, no alcohol. No, it won't, Tanya. Now, don't let the old thing of dairy is no good for you, and it causes mucus and all the rest of it. Don't buy into those things. You know what works for your body, and you'll find, Tanya, while you've got this inflammation sitting in your joints and sitting in your body, that yes, dairy will flare it up, eggs will flare it up, tomatoes, red meat will flare it up, and particular or oily fish, anything oily fish will flare it up too. Nope, we would all be so much healthier if we did no processed foods, no sugar, and no alcohol. You mean doing it into an ebook, Tanya? My gut health program is really powerful. And for everyone who has followed it properly, that celiac has been cleared up, irritable bowel has been cleared up, bowel cancer has been cleared up. But the secret is, like Lisa, the people that have had the most amazing results have followed exactly what I asked them to do. They do not deviate. They do not add their own bits in. Like I had one lady, we've had a few actually. Can I just add this to the juice? Can I add this to the salad? No, you can't. It's all there for a reason, and to get the very best results for you. Changes your health. Yeah, lost 5 kilos. Eating more veggies. And for Lisa, all her aches and pains went away, including bursitis. And there you go. And she had, when I first met Lisa, she was having a terrible time with this gut problem that really did mess up with her life for 8 years, and it's all gone. So, okay, Tanya, I'll get the girls on to creating that for us and get it done. But as I say, it is down to everyone, whoever takes it up. Like Lisa did not deviate. She was so committed, so good with it. She was so determined to make her body well and bring it into being able to function fully and properly. And she got the results, as did all the other people, hundreds of people that have done it. Those who went on it for a day, came off it, messed around, didn't follow it properly, added things in, took things out, they didn't have the same results. And that's of their own, that's on their own back, not mine. I know that the program works extremely well. Oh, Lisa's saying she needs to do it again herself. Well, maybe I'll run it for you all and you'll have to meet up with me every week. Who said that? Anyway, beautiful people, it is time for us to say goodnight for this week. I believe I shall be back with you next week with some more excitement, see what else we can find for you. So, Lisa, well, it's not technically true, is it? You came to my gut health workshop, and it was from the workshop. You were so pleased with what I brought forward at the workshop that you then went on to the program. You're very welcome, Lisa. Very welcome. Very welcome, everybody. Have a beautiful evening, and I look forward to seeing you next week. Good night for now.